Good evening, good students. I want to start by giving you an assignment, and after that, we shall have another class tonight that will deal with new information. And at the moment, I want to give you assignment. The first assignment goes to C2. C2, the first question. First question, describe the descriptive method. Describe the descriptive methodology in comparative education. Describe the descriptive methodology in comparative education. Other question for question 2, that is C2 for another group. Describe the selective education borrowing. Describe the selective education borrowing. Describe the selective educational borrowing as a method in comparative education. Describe the selective education borrowing as a method in comparative education. For the third group, that is C2, third group, can have this. Describe the historical approach as a method in comparative education. Describe the historical approach as a method in comparative education. Another group, this is for the fourth group, C2. Describe philosophical approach as a method of comparative education. Describe the philosophical approach as a method in comparative education. Another question, this is for the fifth group, C2. Describe philosophical approach as a method in comparative education. Describe the philosophical approach as a method in comparative education. Another question for C2, this is for the fifth group. Discuss the sociological approach as a method in comparative education. C2, fifth group. Discuss the sociological approach as a methodology in comparative education. Another question for C2, this is the sixth group. Now I think C2, those ones are enough. I've given you questions for 5 groups. We can go to F3, F3, F3. For the first group, F3, discuss the systematic area study approach as a method in comparative education. Discuss the systematic area study as a method in comparative education. For the second group, F3, discuss the problem solving approach. Discuss the problem solving approach as a methodology in comparative education. Discuss the problem solving approach as a methodology in comparative education. Another question, this is for the third group, F3. Discuss the application of the following methods. Discuss the application of the following method. A. Descriptive methodology, and B. Selective education borrowing. Another group, assignment for another group, F3. F3. Discuss the application of the following methods in comparative education. Discuss the application of the following methods in comparative education. A. Historical approach, and B. Philosophical approach. Another one, another for another group, assignment for another group, F3, another group. Discuss the application of the following methods in comparative education. Discuss the application of the following methods in comparative education. A. Systematic area study approach. A. Systematic area study approach. And B. Problem solving approach. Problem solving approach. Friends, give me a few minutes. Having given you that assignment, give me just a few minutes, about 2, 3 minutes. I'll come back with today's lesson. That was assignment. I hope you people have that assignment. So give me about 2, 3 minutes. I'll come back with today's lesson. Okay. Have a good break.